hook each other out of each other's skill shots. If I see one more X person uses an ability in a way that person Y then messes, I can't take it. It's too much. Like, I'm gonna have nightmares about that hook.
Yeah.
Again, it's not an individual member. I know, like, I think Bulldog's Yone game was rough, but Pioshik had basically no impact in that game, right? Berserker was Senna, so what are you gonna do? And Dudu was getting gapped in lane really hard and almost dying multiple times. It's just, the whole team needs to step it up. Is that gonna happen against T1? I think, unfortunately, most likely, no. But I want to be convinced. I want to be wrong about this. I want a based 6 gamer.
It's a nice experiment to see if your cursing powers are stronger or if DNF, if their ability to win is stronger, you know?
Well, I don't believe in my cursing powers, but I also do not believe in DNF currently. Like, I can see the angle with which they come back and become a real team, but it's again because we know these players are better. I think that's the most frustrating part. If this was a challenger roster, I think we'd talk about them in a very different way. But they're not a challenger roster. Like, we know these players, we know what they're capable of, which is why I think we're a lot harsher on them as the Orianna comes in. Orianna Nocturne would be my guess. Owner does love his Nocturne. I do think you have to pick it here, otherwise things get a little bit iffy.
I mean, they're not necessarily going to take it away, but...
Yeah, this is a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, generally you will see this, but they were thinking about it, maybe just thinking about their final pick, you know, using a little bit of time. They already know they're going to pick Nocturne, so they're like, hey, what are we going to do next? What do we think they're going to pick? What should we counter with? What are we going to look to grab if we can? Which maybe it's a Jace. Jace is hanging around, although Doran and Dudu, not the biggest Jace players, and also now with the Scion selected here for Dudu, probably not going to be that choice.
Trundle has made a big rise. This is a pretty good Trundle spot, especially if you ban Ezreal as a Doran. After last game, you know what? You get to lock in the carry matchup. I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
His Gwen performance was great. Again, I think we have fully come around to the fact that this is the Doran that we've been used to seeing over the last couple of years. Ever since, what was it, 2021 KT, when I think he started to kind of take off. And then ever since, because it was in 2020, he was DRX. And I know he was on KT at some point. And I think it was 2021, because it can't be 2022, because then he went to Gen G.
Yeah. Must have been.
Must have been. And up until, I want to say like late April, we didn't really see a lot of that. I think domestically, he has been great for years. It's really international where a lot of his errors come through. But after last game, and after like the last 2-3 weeks he's had, yeah, I give him the carry matchup. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think he has earned the trust. And DN FREECS probably going to be looking for a hyper carry here. Protected Berserker composition makes sense to me, even though even Berserker has lost some of his shine.
Jhin gets banned.
No brainer, yeah.
Lucian picked here. Doesn't mean that the Braum could be taken away.
This could even still be Carria's dreaded Nidalee support. It's
Lucian Nidalee, you say?
Well, it won't be, but it'd be funny. It is very T1 to play against a team like DNF, and Carria is just like, what if I just play
Berserker just said Braum, so it's going to be Ezreal Braum here.
You want to pick it away. I think that does make sense. I don't think this is the point where Life is going to bring back the support Trundle, and it doesn't look like he will. As Braum, nothing too crazy, but...
You play Melio. It's fine.
I like Melio into this comp. I also like Nami into this comp.
I don't like Nami with Lucian anymore.
Well, no, it's not as good as it used to be, but into the enemy team comp, I think Nami is still great. Bard,
Shaco I like a lot more.
Please, Carria, do it for the... No, Carria, I mean, it's Bard, it's fun. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
the
fine.
Engage is so bad, though. And like,
they have Nocturne Orianna.
No.
It.
T1's engages. I mean, the
I see.
engages.
Yeah.
The root, and you have a cleanse?
It's really good.
Yeah. Carria could sell me on anything, Valdez. But he didn't. He just picked Bard.
Yeah.
That's fine. His Bard's great.
He loves Bard. We'll see how it does in this game. Very interesting comp here from the side of T1. I think they can make it work as we are ready to hop on the Rift for game number 2 right now.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Alrighty. Game number 2. T1 trying to get as many wins as possible. The game score matters, and they need Life Esports to lose to them directly. And then T1 get as many wins as possible and try to get that second place away from Life Esports. Snatch it away right at the very end of round 2.
Bring us back to what we know is the real LCK.
Genji versus T1.
Genji versus T1.
Yeah, this whole Genji versus Life like tangent that we're going off on just...
It's like when we had
Just doesn't feel
when we
right.
had Dom on for like a year and a half, you know? Like, it's nice to have a little bit of variation,
Yeah.
but it's been long enough.
We had our variation.
The people want classic LCK, good old-fashioned T1 Genji.
Yeah. I mean, it has produced some great finals. That
And some-
five-gamer.
and some really bad ones. It's really we really
Yeah.
have had the full spectrum.
Yeah, that's true.
The most
I
recent
mean, when
one
it
was
happens
amazing.
so often, it's like
Yeah.
you can't have everyone be a
Well,
banger.
the most recent one, which was last year spring, was incredible.
Yeah.
That was one of the best finals we'd had in a long time, and then
We're
we
going
had
crazy.
the summer finals, which was even better,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of insane to think about. I think we're due for like a double 3-0 in MSI qualifiers, Veldas. I'm worried.
I mean, Genji is there.
They have
So-
been Gen-Ging a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that on paper, we could expect the 3-0. It might not happen, especially if it is Life who makes it there. I don't know if T1 can challenge them yet. I feel like they're in a really good streak right now. They're definitely coming up at the right time, right before Road to MSI, but I still feel like if Life is playing 100% of their form, which today obviously they were not, and recently they are not, when it comes to best of fives, I feel like they should still have a better chance.
Yeah. Oh, I never say
Envy.
never. But when it comes to T1 Hanwha, that is right now, I think, an extremely and we're gonna get a little preview of it
Yeah.
this
It's on Wednesday.
We get the best of 3 version of it, and then we will have the best of 5. I assume at some point during the split, or during the Road to MSI rather. That is a matchup I am extremely excited for. I am a bit worried that, as we highlighted earlier, that the domestic Gen-G just hits a little too hard. But when we get to MSI, that's when things get fun.
Yeah.
That's when anything can happen. And we just won't know anytime soon. Just gotta figure it out. But if you told me, like a month ago,
Does he just die? He's gonna flash, and now Doran is going to hop away and heal himself.
that too is Doran.
He's gonna be happy that Pyosik isn't here yet.
Dead.
Yeah, he's just dead. He flashes, and Pyosik is there. It's first blood. And Pyosik on the Trundle getting first blood. Feels pretty good. You get your Trundle.
You got the Q.
Yeah, I mean, they
And
know
he gets
Trundle's up
Pillar.
there, so... Yep. That's going to be the Crab also going over to Pyosik. And
And as I
that's
said-
really not doing as much as you'd like.
That too is peak Doran, right there. I've seen him make that exact play on like 5 different champions,
On 5 different
on
teams.
5 different teams, 5 different times. As really, Faker's the only one where you see this Orianna and you go, ooh, that's not looking too hot. Obviously DNF, Bro, and even Longship recently have been doing a good amount of struggling.
I feel like, our players here, we're in Fearless, right? And we want to have as much variety as possible, but the most creative they get is just going into Orianna when there's no other control mages left. I wonder if there are other options that we could go for. I'm just curious.
You get into, I think you pretty quickly get into, once Victor, Azir are gone, you get into the territory of things like Veigar and Nivea, which I think are really good, but they are a lot more
like
dependent on...
Syndra.
Syndra isn't real.
Nice angle there. I think Bulldog is totally fine. A couple more autos could do it, but I think he doesn't have the angle, as Keria is just going to give us the Bard emote and say, I was just here to help Faker, that's why I flashed.
We also have Good read on the patch note, gang. Double spellbook from Carrier and from Life.
Nice.
If he had Ignite, would have been a kill. Could have happened. Spioshik, I'm pretty sure got the...
He got the big one, yeah.
The big raptor.
It went down to 1, and Owner almost took it, but it didn't happen.
But yeah, the kill went over to Pioshik, so I don't even know how much this matters for the 1v1 matchup. I think the Sion, you're still just going to have a bad time. But the early game, I think, is the hardest. If you can get to mid-game without falling too far behind and you get enough resistances, I think eventually you're not going to be too bothered.
I feel like it's very happy times as any jungler to get a kill early and have that really nice back. I mean, it's not going to change everything, but it's going to make your clear a little bit faster. Maybe you have a little bit more presence in the lane. Maybe you're able to fight over more objectives. It just feels very good. Having a beat Trundle is not ideal, but that's what they picked for this composition, and that's just fine. Trundle's clear, not the fastest, so it's going to make it just a little bit faster. Guma, it feels like he's been laning alone for the majority of this game. Carrier is up a level on him, even so.
Carrier is Bard. Bard just, you know, generally Bards around. Yeah, Pioshik will win this.
Yeah, he will win that.
Pretty hard.
But Fear also denies him from winning it. For now. And Guma's still up here. Carrier's nearby. But, yeah. The second that Ezreal Braum came in, it just felt like there wasn't going to be a lot of angles to do much, although a bit of damage goes into Life. You see that Guma is going to get healed up and push forward quite a little bit, but Berserker and Life just kite back. Ezreal Braum, very good at cutting back, as you can imagine. They both can hop back and put up doors and just say no.
I'm waiting for something to really transpire in this game. Because I know we've had a little bit of action, right? We had Doran getting taken down. There it is!
There it is. Is it enough damage? The answer is no. They're going to get the flash out of Bulldog.
That's good. Victor and his flash, as we know from the Azir matchup, is always going to be something where you're very happy when it is taken away. Wow.
Yeah, he greeted for the wave, and now he has to flash. So now that's an Orianna without his flash.
T1, I would like to remind you, yes, we're playing against DNF, but they're still an LCK team.
Yeah.
Nongshim learned this lesson. Now, on the plus side, if DNF win, we get our base 6 gamer.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty base. Getting a 5 gamer is like when you get your ice cream and you're so excited for it, and then you realize you got the wrong flavor. And you're just like, I guess I'll eat it. I don't even really want it. That actually
happened to me when I was in the Netherlands. I wanted a chocolate milkshake, and then when I was already too far out, I noticed I got vanilla. Ruined my evening.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Very rough.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of 5 gamers. You know, it's not as bad as the cringe 8 gamer from Challengers. That was the worst.
That is way worse.
When you could have had 9 and then some team gets a 2-0 and
so
you're like,
what did you hate more? When the first series was a 2-0 or when it comes down to the final game and then you don't make it?
I felt like, especially for Wolf and I, who were the cringe duo because we never got a 9 gamer.
Yeah, a lot of 8ers.
There were so many 8ers where it was the final series where we were like, it looks like we might get the 9 gamer. And then they just 2-0. And it looked like they were going to win. And get like the 1-1, and we would have 9, and so that one definitely bugged me a lot more. Bit of trading up here on the top side. Berserker up a level, but again, not too much pressure unless Guma wants to press his R button. But until then, it'll just be trading, and that's about it.
Faker doesn't have flash, but Pioshik will walk over a ward here, so. Don't think Faker is really at risk. Owner also has his ultimate back up again. But did use his first ult and not get any stacks on that ultimate hunter. So DNF, early laning lead. It is just a kill, but it's something.
Doran just gets to do basically whatever he wants in this lane.
Yeah,
the first time we saw Nidalee was against Sion, right?
I'm pretty sure it was. It was like that or Jace.
I think it was Zeus picking Nidalee into... I forget who it was. Someone was playing Sion. And it went very one-sidedly. It was not a fun time for the Sion player.
Carry on a ward there that is not been marked as... Oh, back to lane for Dudu there.
Boom. All right, we're going in. No flash here for Bulldog. The timing is good, and there you go. There's the execution. That's the engage. That T1 will pull off many a time. And they pick up a kill here for Keria.
It's time for Battle Bar.
Uh-oh. Faker also no flash, and they're just going in onto this one. Nice ult here from Keria is going to get him away. As Trundle and Braum, not the most chase potential, but they will try. Especially in the short lane of mid, it's not really going to feel very good. And so Faker does get away.
I like it, Dudu. Don't interact with that lane. Don't give him the satisfaction where you didn't get the full wave.
Yeah, also there's a TP coming in. As they're trying to punish the Sion. He doesn't have ult. He does have flash. Will he use it is the question. Gonna try to flash the wall, and the disengage cone is not going to work. In goes Doran, just follows him on the disengage and picks up the kill. So this time Dudu flew a little bit too close to the sun.
And you could all hear Brendan Valdez chuckle with rapturous glee.
Yeah.
As the disengage cone didn't do its job.
Well, the pillar is going to do its job. Knocks him into the stun. Faker 100% dead, just going for the minions. And eventually, Bulldog will kill him. Bit of damage comes in down on the bottom side. Still a very close game at this point.
DNF, don't do this. Don't give us hope. Come on.
This is what always happened in the Cringe 8 gamers. They would always give us hope.
Because they're playing their early game well. Like, yes, Bulldog died. Obviously, Dudu, I don't know what that was. Like, if you go for that proxy, you do need to commit to just dying for the wave. And that's fine. Okay, we know this. This is one of the most iconic things about Sion is that you can just die for the wave. And it's fine. As long as it gets you a tempo advantage, as long as it keeps you up in experience. But instead, he's half a level down. Just gotta die. It's fine. You're Sion. That's what your champion is designed to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he did give that kill over to Doran, which is going to make his life even harder. So Trinity Force is done for the Nidalee.
Not great. X-Plate, there for Owner as well.
Yeah, I mean, with Orianna and Nocturne, I feel like you can go for a lot more plays.
Well,
especially onto a Victor.
I just think the movement speed and attack speed is just always good on Nocturne, right? Like, I really don't mind it as much. And if you look at with Victor, I think realistically you can just stay on top of him anyway. And then with Berserker, if he has E, you're not getting him. So I know how much stride or how much value Stridebreaker really gets. It's still good, but
yeah. Different situations where you can use it in. And we're just still hanging out. It does feel like a close game. I do like that DNF are giving us some hope because last game was a bit rough where we thought the game was over at 13 minutes. And then we were like, oh, maybe. And then it was over at 27 minutes instead.
Everyone Blood Song. It's a bloodthirsty bard. Battle Bard.
Battle Bard. I mean, let's see how these fights go. Owner's just going to go in onto the Victor once again. We don't see the Shockwave coming out until a little bit later, and finally it goes off. But now Guma's here, and the culling is doing quite a lot, and this Bard ultimate is going to catch them. Can they follow up with some damage? Double flash comes out from those guys. The sun comes in from Keria, and life is finally going to be taken out. DNF still sticking around, even though they didn't have Berserker. Does not go well for them.
That's rough. Because either if Berserker's there, I think that fight's playable because it was actually a pretty long back and forth. But they were clearly lacking damage because Bulldog died rather quickly, and then well, they need damage, right? Like, you're not really going to be able to well, not Bulldog dying rather quickly, but taken out of the fight, so he couldn't really do too much more. If Berserker's there, then maybe, but instead I try to disengage, but you're playing into Bard, so like disengaging is obviously not really going to be a thing that you can easily do. As we take another look at the fight here, it's again the Bash Bros, Braum and the Trundle trying to make things happen. Good exhaust there on Owner. The Shockwave does very little. But then here, as we see, Faker's fine. And they're unfortunately not able to really take life out of the equation. As yeah, but it was Pyosik that was taken out. But it doesn't really, like, even if Pyosik is in the middle of them, he just goes down.
I mean, it was a 3v4 the whole time.
Well, it's also, it's Rod of Ages, Lucidity Victor.
Yes.
That's not going to do enough damage.
It doesn't do damage. No.
We saw that, yeah.
It is not a damage-dealing AP carry in this game. Owner is here. Could look to just combo. You know, you got Hexplate. I feel like any opportunity you get, wherever Faker is, Owner should just go there and look to ult. As here we go once again. Going to go in onto Braum. As Life just accepts
Ghosting.
He is.
He's running.
He's very fast, you know? It's going to delay a little bit of time. It's not going to matter all too much as Carry just ults himself. Does he get away here from the Trundle? Looks like maybe no, as even the shield not going to help. Pyosik with the subjugation is still in a 1v2, but here's Berserker trying to make things interesting. Gonna flash. Nearly had the angle there on Guma with the double. That was very cute. As now Bulldog makes his way over and T1 will respect. I say that. Faker still fighting this one. He's going to eat a Chaos Storm. Doesn't want to flash. He will be just fine.
Man, if only they had someone who did damage, that would have been good. Unfortunately, they don't. Well, actually, that's not true.
A damage AP carry.
Well, no, they have a damage dealer. It's just Pyosik. Who does actually do a good amount of munching there. As Doran, did he die in what was effectively a 1v1? Yes. Is he still living his best life, unbothered, in his lane, alone, against Sion, who can't really do anything against him? Also, yes.
Yeah.
It's nice.
The 18 Italy top just feels like a better version of Quinn, you know? We used to get the Quinn sometimes in these positions, especially into Renekton. And yeah, this is just Life being a little bit too far up against Orianna Nocturne. You really have to respect that. But he didn't.
I do like the call from Pyosik to go in, though, because they use a lot of cooldowns there, right? 2 ultimates gone. Keria tries to stall for as long as possible, but Pyosik just uses him as a lethal tempo stack. And then here you can see Pyosik actually does have a lot of threat. Berserker really like the angle there. If he hits that initial
Look at this flash Q.
I know.
So close.
If both or either of those two Qs hits and they actually get the kills, would have been huge. Still get the Herald. And still, DNF are in this game. And our dream of 6 games remains alive, Feldes.
Yes.
Well, that's really all that matters.
Yundo, one of our guys who did the observing, still does the observing for Challenger League, hated 9 gamers, he said. Whereas for us, we would call it the based 9 gamers. And they were pretty based. I don't know what it's like to be that based. Again, me and Wolf were just the cringe duo.
My favorite part was when Ox came in, hot dropped the Challenger broadcast, and immediately, like, 360 no-scoped the 9 gamer.
Yeah, in his first try.
I think it was, I don't know if it was first, but because he was filling in for me. And he definitely did hit it. As we have a possible setup here towards top side. Pyosik's there. The combo is here. Everyone is waiting on everyone.
All right, we're doing the combo.
Taking the bait.
Is it happening? It's not really happening. The Shockwave is only going to hit the Trundle, and now Owner in a really rough spot here. Keria not able to help him either, and it's more money to the Trundle. Fed Trundle 3-0. Pyosik carry angle. Any believers in chat?
Well, no one else on his team is doing damage. He has to step it up. Only he can do it.
He's got Warden's Mail.
Gets a chomp on the turret. That's Trundle's favorite thing to do.
And you saw how little damage the Shockwave does to the Trundle at this point in the game. Everybody else is AD.
Yeah, Faker also in Roa.
Yeah. And this isn't going to get any better. I mean, this is the way this matchup goes, so. It is the one angle. Like, the gold is even, but it's AD in Italy.
Yeah, DNF have a great teamfight comp. It's not like they're unhappy to go to late game, as they were just ready. The moment that Pyosik appears, I think Faker understandably is like, I don't know about all that. And they just let Owner go down. But it's a counter gank there. Clearly DNF were very ready for this play to come through. Bulldog, willing bait, now has his Leandris done as well.
I'm a believer for DNF.
I know
believe.
Berserker also does damage. I want to believe, man. I still don't. I need more.
I believe. I'm a believer. It's Hex Tech Soul. DNF coming off of a a big pickup onto Owner,
Big pickup.
and they're setting up for this Dragon. And Hextech Soul, when you've got Ezreal in your team, always fun.
Also, Doran can TP, but he is 80 in Italy. Do you really want to do that?
No.
I'm not so sure.
Are they going to go in? No. Well, kind of. Keria goes in, and I don't really know why. Berserker going to get a free kill.
I didn't actually see, but I'm telling you right now, I think he tried to smite it away. Because he's barred and he has spell.
Okay, there you go. The smite steal bard did not work out, though.
Well, I'm also, I don't know if they changed that, but originally you used to get unupgraded smite. Which doesn't
It's like, why even go for it?
do a lot compared to the real smite, which is what Pyosik has. Pyosik also getting a merry combination of items. Actually stopped by the thrift shop before he went for those kills. Is DNF actually is actually happening?
I believe.
So
like, Berserker hit his spike. Bulldog is playing pretty well.
Berserker hasn't died yet either. That's big.
Berserker hasn't died. Pyosik also hasn't died. And
Which is much rarer.
there have been a lot of rough games where Pyosik dies a lot or he's not really doing a lot, but he's doing so much in this game. He's part of every kill. The Trundle looks great, even from the first kill. We talked about the snowball, the Trundle snowball.
He actually got really close.
Yeah.
I love the idea. You know, it's like earlier, the concept is very cool. But just because you can probably doesn't mean that you should. I struggle with this a lot. But also it's a bard death, right? Like, I don't think really...
It's still money in the bank for Berserker.
Yeah, that's valid.
And now they're sieging turrets. And the combo is going to come in here. This time it does connect, but just going to go golden is the Trundle, as now that front line is being torn apart. Pyosik goes down, and Owner gets away with his flash. So the siege doesn't quite work out this time for DNF.
Owner able to find the engage. Yeah, that's... Tudu is having so much fun, by the way. Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Whole breakered up minion. Just staying alive. Doing his best. I like the new Hull Breaker. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Making minions tankier and just booming structures. It's enjoyable. Taking a look at the combo here. Nicely walked out of. But the main thing is it puts Pyosik in an awkward position where he's not actually able to get out. The rest of the team not really able to protect him. That is a big shutdown going over to Guma, who already is quite fed. Well, I mean, he should be further ahead, but because of the CS lead and the fact that Berserk, I'm pretty sure, was able to pick up just a lot of money across the map. He's actually not as far behind as I thought he was going to be. Or far ahead, rather, for Guma.
The biggest lead that's not 80 in Italy is the mid lane. So Bulldog is starting to begin to think about doing damage. He did pick up the
he's going to go Zhonya's next. No damage. Only defensive. Which, we're always haters. You are playing into Nocturne and Orion. This is one of the occasions where it's like, and even against Bard, I feel like you can get a lot of value out of it. Yeah. So, might actually be one of the occasions where it is definitely correct. I just... Maybe try something not roller related. Just sit on that catalyst and go from there. As Life now also has Smite, so they can go for Otacon and should just win it.
I love how there's been a lot of stuff happening in this game. There's been like 5 kills to either side, and just imagine the entirety of this game, Dudu for 24 minutes has been laning against AD in Italy.
Oh, it's horrible. It's so sad.
This has been his experience of the game.
I do think, instead of Unending Despair, just go warm-ups. I'm not even memeing.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. Now we do have the Trundle here, so Doran just going to hop over the wall, and the pillar does come down. And if this stun hits, maybe, but now Owner is coming in, and now the follow-up with the Scion ults, and they do get the punish. And nothing on the top side for T1 to take except that Otacon, but they're not in position to do so. So that's going to relieve some of that pressure.
I want to believe. I'm gonna.
I'm a believer.
I'm not believing until it happens.
I'm locked in.
I want to believe, but I'm glad you are.
We have one committed member here on the desk.
There is so Spirit Visage. I'm not the biggest fan of here.
All right.
Like, I know it's good on Trundle because of your the amount of healing you do, but... And it's okay with Thunder Sky, but you are playing into just Orianna.
Yeah, and she already doesn't do damage.
Yeah, at least Faker went Shadow Flame second. That helps a little. He also went Sorkpan, but it's still not. It's not great. Really feels like T1 is just playing to ult Bulldog and murder him. Because getting the Berserker is going to be so much harder.
Yeah.
That's going to be the second Hextech Drake going over the DNF. I'm slowly starting to come around, Valdez.
Yeah, you're beginning to believe. Here we go again. They are going to find the one guy that they are looking for, that is Bulldog, and he gets feared right at the very end. As Carriot going on into this one, he has a Blast Cone, and Kuma's going to send him in. It doesn't quite matter, though, as Berserker, the last auto from Faker, gets him down. And, well, maybe a Baron angle here for T1 after a couple of kills.
No longer believing. I Carriot's just styling on them. And some of these bar plays didn't end up working out, but that one gets them a Baron. We'll see if Pioshi can make his way over. Dudu, yeah, he doesn't have... He has his ult, but he's obviously not going to make his way over as... Pioshi is really fast.
He's taking on the world!
And he does have Sundered Sky. Wait to give me the... Oh my god, that was... He could have gone in.
Yeah,
He could have actually stolen it. Like that. Carrier! Really.
He's having a lot of fun today.
Maybe one of the most iconic Bart performances, as in cosplaying Bart, who's just a being that can't be understood.
Yeah.
Because display, amazing.
Bulldog.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Bulldog just ends up going down, just dies, and then Berserker ease over Carrier immediately. Flash. Now, should he have eaten? No, but still. Flash gets the redirect, hits the Q to the wall, follows up with the ult. See if he talks about it.
Yes.
A lot. Understand immediate ward as well to ensure that they have vision in case he flashes over the wall in a different direction. Cleanly done there.
Respect not being shown by DNF.
Nope.
They still have a couple of Drakes. They are still facing an 80 in Italy, where some of that gold lead is pretty fake. Might even be able to kill Doran here. Let's see. I mean, they got 3 people coming down. Doran is still trading.
I guess they lose Otacon.
I feel like he might have even lost 1v1. But now with 3 of them down here, it's just going to be the end of him. Dudu picks up that kill. And the Otacon eventually will go over to T1.
Okay, but this is one of those games where they can actually contest Otacon. Like, they're not behind. They're not behind. It's 1K.
So we're committed to believing in them, but maybe DNF isn't.
That's... If you are down like 4 or 5K gold, this is the right play. Like overloading side lane so that you can pick someone off on the enemy team. If you get gold into your team, you lessen that. But you weren't really behind. It's 1K gold. It's fine. Well, also I just want to.
Oh,
engage Braum.
Engage Braum angle. They got the flash at a Faker. It worked. Regardless of your thoughts on engage Braum.
I'm having a tough time thinking about POM here, by the way.
Well, it's going to be hard to consider it now when we have another game.
Still have a third game?
Yeah, we have a third game to go, so
okay,
pretty early.
But say that
think about it.
Somehow DNF don't win.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Who is it? Is it just Carrier? Because his game 1 was good, and his game 2 he's the main carry, right? Because I think Faker was probably my... Faker or Doran were my...
I don't know if you can vote for Doran anymore after this game.
Well, that's my...
Yeah.
Still 1.5k gold up, though. But I'm like,
he's
that's
80 in Italy.
He's 80 in Italy, yeah.
He should be up more.
He's also not up in items.
Yeah. I mean, Shutdown went over to Dudu.
Where does all the gold go? I guess it's 80 in Italy. It doesn't go anywhere. Serpent's Fang now done for owner.
Doran, or rather Dudu, is getting to the point where he doesn't really care about the Nidalee existing. He's just like, okay, yeah, sure. You can attack me all you want. Still not going to build Warmogs. Does look like T1 want to set up for this Drake, but DNF's positioning on the Drakes the last couple have been better.
Look at that spear. Man, sure did damage. Faker's just living his best life, pushing inside lane.
I mean, Bulldog can just back and catch this. Looks like he wants to walk.
There are only 2 smites on the map as of right now. So we are approaching our soul point fight.
I mean, let's see how this looks. Berserker's standing on a ward at the moment. They have not cleared out the vision. Banana Brush control also going to T1. And the last couple of Drakes, DNF to get. Keria with the engage here. They're just going right to that back line as the flash away, but the follow-up from Owner, but he's not going to get the kill. Finally, Guma gets in there, but now it's Guma way behind the play, and nobody's able to help him. Zoned away by the Chaos Storm as Dudu going to cut that ult short, just trying to keep Bulldog protected. We'll see if he can do that. As Vic Stun is going to come down. And look at Pioshik just going to town. Up on the top side, gets the kill on a Faker. But Bulldog is getting supremely low and finally gets taken out here by Doran, who will also be taken down, though. Guma.
He hit the Q!
The only one that can do damage at this point in time. Dudu on the chase. It's going to be a kill. A shutdown for Dudu. And DNF are very much in this game as they look at their 3rd Hextech Drake.
You just gotta believe!
I never stop believing.
Let it be known, Brendan Veldes never stopped believing in them. I most certainly did. As we take a look at that fight, it's an almost perfect initial setup on the engage, but you also see they're ready. Keria goes in.
The exhaust on
But the
Owner.
exhaust ends up being huge. And Guma, getting the kill was nice, but it makes this entire fight so awkward because they basically need to pivot in a way where they can keep Guma safe, and then I think here just let Doran die. I don't think that we need to fight to the death to try and salvage this, right? But T1 instead wants to go in. But it's Trundle and Braum. Like Trundle, a single Q with Sundered Sky.
Yeah, and in this fight as well, there was no vision at that brush. If Keria puts down a ward immediately, Guma just 2-taps Pioshik, and he dies. And in that case, there's no Trundle, and it's a much closer fight, so little things there making the difference, like the swap over to exhaust. Actually, I don't know, did he have that from the beginning
I
in this
think
game?
he started with exhaust.
Yeah.
No, I think he started with... No, I don't know, because Keria also did it, and Keria started with heal for sure.
He must...
I think for life, it might have been exhaust. It's exhaust or heal.
It's
I'm not
exhaust or
sure.
heal. Either way, he had exhaust when he needed it. So either he swapped to it or he already had it. He had it for the fight, where it was most important. So little things like that, if he doesn't have exhaust, Berserker just dies.
Doran on the AD in Italy. He does have a 1.2k gold lead. All
right, they're going to go in on the Berserker, and there's the combo once again as he flashes the wall and he lives. Just barely.
Not even close, baby. That's why you pick Azrael right there. Can't believe he lived. That's Nash otherwise.
Flashed too. He actually just shifted, which makes more sense. Still no flash here for Berserker.
I know that's not really what happened, because I think Owner has a very specific role in this comp. But if you just look at the scoreboard, Pioshik gapping Owner, I've not seen in a long time, Veldes.
Yeah, this is totally on vision. Do they care? Life has smite, Keria has smite. TPs are coming in, our top laners have joined, and Owner does not have flash.
3 seconds on the ult!
3 seconds on the ult, and the Bard is going to keep it alive. It's just a total flip with smites all over the place. It goes to T1, but Owner immediately dies, and so will Keria, as Dudu is chasing Guma. And eventually, Dudu cannot deal Guma cannot deal damage to Dudu. It can't happen. And he can't even dash over the wall. Dudu just solo kills him. And yeah, T1 got the Baron, but DNF are sitting pretty. 3 Hextech Drakes, 3 more kills on the board for them.
The dream remains alive, Veldes.
Do you believe in miracles?
Well, I'm starting to. DK won today, so anything is possible. As we take another look, Keria, the only reason why they're even in a position to get to this. Delays, and then
we're just diving. We're just diving Faker. He's just here. He's just dead. Already flashed. Didn't matter. He just dies. And T1 have Baron with 2 people on. 2 people had the Baron.
Had.
Say.
Yeah.
And now it's only Doran.
Who isn't real, as we have Once we have a
Stayed in Italy. I mean, that gap is closing faster and faster. Okay, they're going in on a Scion.
Choo-choo.
So it's never going to work. I mean, they push him away, I guess. So they're going to keep the turret alive.
They still have Otacon,
Oh,
and they're not...
those 700 gold.
I know. They're not that far ahead in global gold, but it just feels like the composition, even if now you just blow up... I don't know. Even with Baron, you can't defend that. Given the fact that there's no members of the team on the map, because as we have seen, actually going in on Ezreal with this combo, it doesn't actually work. Particularly because he also went for the his Locket, and he also went for BT, so he doesn't die. Doing it on Scion on Trundle is obviously really troll, and not in the cool Trundle way. Don't do that way.
The actual troll
and then
way.
It's just Bulldog, who has stopwatch. So I don't know. I think I don't see it for T1 unless we see big mistakes from Bulldog and or Berserker.
Doran doesn't win this lane anymore either. There's zero side lane pressure, and now you've got an Eating Italy in your comp that doesn't help in the team fights either.
Might be time to buy Blade the Rune King, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah.
I look at the damage chart though, Valdez. Look at that.
Yeah, Dudus in seconds.
I know.
As Scion.
35k.
That is what I saw immediately. Yes, you're right.
Once Hectic Soul comes in, that's it. Right? Like, there is no shot that you can win the game as T1. Hextech Soul is just too powerful. A single laser, a single Q is going to ruin you.
They gave up the first two Drakes. The third one, DNF took from them. And now they're trying to engage onto Bulldog. Parry ult's going to do a little bit. Gets Bulldog into a rough spot, but immediately life runs over and just gets his shield up.
He doesn't even flash.
And now their engage is done. Dudu is totally fine. Still Scion. And this dragon is up. I think can just try to go for it. No smite available here as Guma's going in. He's got a very nice angle, though, on a Bulldog. They do turn on to Doran, who tries to engage his 80 Italy. Not sure about that one. And now he is going to go down. That's first pick going the way of DNF. Life gets low. And then a huge shockwave comes in, but it doesn't deal damage. From the side of Faker, double stun comes in. Guma is desperate to carry this game, but he will not be able to. He does his very best. But it's just Hextech Soul potentially here for DNF unless Owner has something to say about it.
All right, Doran. I'm sorry. Give that card. No more Nidalee. We can't do it. Because they are so close. Because of Guma's heroics to actually making this work.
T1 are desperate to try to stop this.
They can't give this. They know. Owner has his ult.
I mean, we're going to see this ult coming in. Owner, they could just probably turn onto him. As the fear does come down, Owner's like, I guess I'll just try to hit the dragon. He is doing quite amount of damage. Might see a little flip here, although the stun goes in and Owner gets it. Somehow, DNF not able to secure it, but still able to pick up 2 kills. And this Scion is so giga-fed.
But
compared to where he should be in this game.
Game's not over. Denied the Hextech Soul, and now T1 have a Hextech Soul one of themselves. As again, a lot of heroics here to kind of hide the fact that Doran just goes into 5 people and dies. Just gets unceremoniously blown up. The shockwave from Faker, even then, like, it doesn't do that much damage, right? You can see it even there, and it's not until Guma tries his very best and is so close, particularly, don't forget, with those resets, Franks from the Otacon.
Look at this.
The explosion.
They're just pushing. The turret's going to go down. And DNF, they don't get the inhibitor, but at least they get the inhibitor turret.
It's not done yet for DNF, but they are in a commanding lead in this game. Comp-wise, Jack Show done for Pioshik. What's next? Blood Mill, Titanic Hydra. Really, it's Guma against the world. And Faker, yeah. I feel like Faker should be doing damage soon. Like, once Void is done, obviously it'll be better.
Did you see his 4-man shockwave that just did negative damage? How is that even possible?
Because he doesn't have Void. And I want you to look at the itemization on the enemy team. There's so much ammo.
Everybody's so tanky.
So much. We're not even looking at Pioshik's stolen resistances, right?
Yeah. All right, they're going to try to go in on the Berserker. The Fear is going to land, but they're going extremely deep for this one. Can they take out Berserker? Yes, they can. Guma might have to trade his life for it as down he goes. It's a trade of 80 carries. With Baron on the Rift, DNF will set their sights there.
A lot of ults used as well. They're on either side. Baron is up, but Owner is still in the air. Look at the cooldown on the Paranoia, by the way. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Gonna be available very, very soon. This game's still a bit messy. Thorin, okay, he's in the jungle. Should be completely fine. Just about can he do stuff that matters? As Pyosik is definitely feeling very confident.
It's been a while to see this dominant of a game from Pyosik, so I'm sure he's enjoying it.
Also making Trundle look good. Not a lot of people that have been able to do that
in a close game.
In a close game,
yeah,
in a long amount of time. But the trade did end up working out, right? Because we give Faker a lot of flack for not doing damage. Same for Bulldog, as we have seen. It really does feel like it's the 80 carries, but for DNF, Sion does enough damage because T1 doesn't have a front line. So like, even that alone is enough to really put kind of a damper on T1's attempts at going for these objectives, as it's 50 seconds on the Paranoia. Thank you for our production team rather, as 41 minutes.
Longest game this season has been 50 minutes and 39 seconds.
Okay, so we get one team gets Baron, the other team gets Soul, and then we have an Elder flip, and then we go to game 3. Right?
And that goes over 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, Veldes.
It's all coming together. I'm seeing the lines.
Losing
the
our minds together.
6-gamer.
We've already had DK beat Hanwha Live. DK had not been a higher ranked team. And I'm not even joking. I think it actually is since 2021. Because like they get really close all the time, but they never actually win. So if T1 can, then Pyosik can beat T1 since. Well, I mean, definitely with KT last year. But that's not what anyone's going to think about when you say Pyosik beating T1.
Yeah.
The dream's alive. T1, please, be so funny. Keria, Guma, I know you're trying really hard, but let us have this one.
Well, I think we're going to have a game 6.
Well, I'm still...
I'm a believer.
It should happen.
I'm committed.
Okay, but
I've been
not
committed
ready
for 30 minutes.
I'm not ready. You have. I've been on the fence.
All right, we're doing Baron on Vision.
Oh, it's a bait.
They answer the call.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Keria just gonna flash.
It's fine. He has Unsealed Spellbook. It's okay. Doesn't matter.
It's the right call because when you're in that position with the pillar right behind you as Bard, you mess up a magical journey, you probably just die. So better to just play it safe. Not good that he lost his flash, obviously, for Keria.
Playing Fat Trundle, one of the most fun experiences in League of Legends. Just run at everyone.
Yeah.
They have to respect you.
There definitely is a lot of respect being shown. It feels like by both teams at this point. You know, 43-minute game.
Are we just flipping? Soul flip? Soul flip.
Soul flip. I'm ready. There's a ton of damage already coming in. I mean, they might just be able to zoom this one down. It's just Hextech Soul going to Bard. And Owner gets in, but he's late. And okay, that's a nice kill on a Berserker. Maybe an angle here for T1. Bulldog left isolated, has to flash away. He goes down to Faker. An angle here for T1, as it's gonna come down to the Fed Sion and the Fed Trundle, but I don't think they have enough.
Not like this!
Not in the 2v5. Massive stun comes down from Dudu, who is unkillable, but Pyosik is very killable. And it looks like T1 may have just done it. If they get the Supreme 5-for-0 ace, and that they will, they've got a wave in mid. And even Hextech Soul isn't enough to give DNF the win here in game 2.
Not like this! Veldes, no!
My beliefs, they're crushed. This is the expected result, though. T1 will get the 2-0 tonight. It was a struggle. It took them 45 minutes to take down DNF here in game number 2. But they do get the 2-0 victory. Again, the expected result. But after watching this game, maybe you wouldn't have known about it. Some